We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Hell yes, I get to ride the dragon.
The hell's wrong with you people?
I know Kung Fu.
Tank, you want to switch?
No, I'm good. I got it.
Stay down.
I could do this all day.
If you had to transform into one mythical creature and then get married to a different mythical creature.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Maximum effort.
How about a magic trick?
HR.
Not an
Call
animal.
HR. Is it HR?
Somebody call HR down here. That man is playing Galaga.
Welcome to the Nerds from Work, your weekly escape into the world of geeks, nerds, and apparently now we can substitute pinch hitters because nobody else can show up to the show. So we have to start calling on our backlog of rosters. And with us this week, we have Adam Stevenson. What's going on?
Happy to be a repeater.
Dude, it feels like it's been too long.
Oh, when did we do the last one? Like
Couple
September?
months. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's been
but
a
when you
while.
own a piece of my soul,
Each time I come back, it's gonna be like Voldemort. I'm just gonna take another little chunk, another
Nice.
little chunk.
and with that,
Hey.
Salute.
Nice.
dude, are you drinking chocolate milk?
Sort of. It's a White Russian.
Okay, there you
Nice.
go. Okay, for our audio
Adult
listeners,
chocolate milk.
Adult chocolate milk.
It's definitely out of a Hershey's cup.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
no, definitely doing the Hershey's New York mug.
That's
Okay, okay. So what has everybody been up to? Adam, you can go first because I feel like yours is way more interesting and related to our show than what Tank and I have been doing.
awesome. For sure.
I mean, it's
For
not
sure.
directly related, but I've been bouncing around working on some projects. So I'm down in Louisiana right now, working on the production side of a film, doing casting, and weirdly enough, so I can't talk about the actual project, but it's a vampire movie. It'll be
Nice.
Weird.
on one of those popular streaming things, probably either really late this year or beginning of next year. And when I can talk about it, maybe I'll come back on and be specific.
Hell yeah.
So I'm working on that in the crew side, and then I'll be working as an actor on a horror film in Mississippi later this month and next month. Doing my duty as a cult leader who gives his daughter over to evil powers.
Dude, if you need more cult members, I'm cultish. I look
Cultish?
cultish.
Cultish, like on the edge of cult, like the right.
Dude, if I throw on a flannel,
Oh, I thought you meant like on the edge of being susceptible to a cult.
I mean,
Like you're this close to getting recruited.
I'm only one drip email campaign away. Okay?
I mean, I do love me a good cup of Kool-Aid, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you mix it just right, it's to die
I'll
for.
drink the welcome to the group Kool-Aid. I don't want to do the exit interview.
Whoa. That's for our 6-month members.
Yeah,
You're
right.
over here.
You haven't donated enough to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's a show on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called now. I watched it during Halloween, but like it's supposed to be ghost stories and demons, right? And there's this guy talking about the Church of God. Have you guys heard of that?
Is it like a fake series or is it a
No,
documentary?
it's true.
Or...
And so it's like stories that happen to real people. And his parents joined the Church of God in the 70s. And like, if you Google it, the Church of God is like this huge cult.
Yeah.
And they would like live in these societies. And it was like really odd, but he was a homosexual. And they're like, you have a gay demon in you. Yeah, and he was like, what? And it was like super weird. Like, so after that, I was like, man, fuck cults. Like, fuck.
Wait, that was the one that did it for you?
Yeah, right, is that one.
Yeah. Like, the other stuff is really cool. Like, you're hanging out with a bunch of people who have the same ideals as you, right? Like, it's really cool. But then when it's like, no, we're going to, like, beat the nonsense into you. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for violence, but, like,
This is true.
come on.
This is true.
I'll
Yes.
choose my own violence, okay? You gotta turn that shit up.
Kurt said BoJack Horseman.
BoJack Horseman.
I didn't
That
know.
is not a cult, but maybe a cartoon.
That's what I thought.
A cultish cartoon.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was related. He just kind of threw it out there. But hey, Kurt, what's up?
What up? So, yeah, I could be cultish. Just saying. You need someone in Mississippi to throw on a flannel and walk around.
Fair enough.
Doing what? I don't know what cults do, but you know.
I know there's going to be bonfires involved, so I mean, I guess that's
There
a
you go.
whole thing. Or a like.
Zoltan.
Sultan.
Can I do that in the background? In like my bubble wrap jacket?
You may or may not get sued. Small possibility.
Well, I'll be so far in the back.
It'll be one of those things that, like, a decade later, you end up on one of those lists of, like, how did this make it into the movie?
Yeah.
like, what's the one from, like, is it, I'm probably going to butcher this. There's a, like, 80s movie with, like, a basketball scene or, like, a...
Basketball.
No. But there's like a scene in a gymnasium, and if you're scanning the crowd, there's a guy that like whips his dick out,
What?
like way up in like the back. I think it's like what's Teen Wolf or something.
Wolf.
Like during like one of the
Nice.
basketball games or something. There's something where like
What on earth?
an extra was like drunk, had been there for like 15 hours, and like he's in the top of the bleachers like peeing or something goofy, and it's just sitting up there just
What
with
the
it hanging
fuck?
out.
That's so funny.
I feel like Zoltan in the back of your serious horror movie would be like a little bit more subtle than that. Like,
A little subtle.
I'm not saying I'm gonna walk around with my dick out, but like,
So you're gonna use one hand, and then the rest is just gonna be from your penis. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
just
like just straight like penis, right? Like maybe take a Sharpie, do a line across, and like angled penis down. Like I don't know. There's gonna be like shadow work and a little bit of magic going into that. So
little movie magic.
nice, dude.
fair enough.
But you're working for some awesome sources on this vampire thing. That sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Do you like being behind the camera or in front of the camera more?
Depends on the project. Some stuff's more fun to see how it unfolds. I mean, one of the first things I ever got to do, which I think I talked about last time I was on, was working and casting on Logan when it was down here.
Yeah.
Right.
And to work background behind the scenes on a Fox film, a big studio tent pole with $150 million behind it, have some like Hugh Jackman attached, have all of the like, have to sign NDA material with like Marvel's logo on it and stuff like that. As like a nerdy kid, like that gets me jazzed. So like I liked seeing all of that unfold. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have liked to also be in the movie. But, you know,
They offered me the spot as Logan. I said, "Fuck that."
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, I don't
I want to
wanna
be
do
his
the
bagel
two-a-days.
boy.
Like,
Fuck that. I'm gonna get his bagels and shit.
I just like I like that it's different every day. I'm not built for a cubicle.
Thanks.
No, I am. I am, and I'm 100% okay with it. It's fine.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be in the cubicles.
Yeah.
This guy.
No judgment, and especially if you're like, yeah, I'm cool with it, then that's even better.
Right.
It's like, but you sit in a cubicle next to someone who hates it. Don't
For
you?
sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
There's people that are like, this is not what I didn't roll the dice right. I crit failed when they were handing out jobs.
If you feel like that at your job currently, please do not write the show. Like just
Or-
go on with your life, like enjoy it, and then just know it'll end one day. You come to this show for like pep talk, but if you're listening to this at work, then your life may suck. I'm just saying it may suck.
There's a certain level of awesome that you can be at work making money and also listening to this.
That's true. I
There
was
is that.
writing contracts and listening to a podcast unrelated to nerd. No, it was nerd stuff. Whatever. Tank, what have you been up to, dude?
D&D, dude. Like, for whatever reason, the last, like, I mean, it's been kind of slowly taking over my life anyways. But, like, I've been drawing D&D characters. I've been drawing all the cast members. I just finished my, third piece? I drew our DM as a tiefling sorcerer. That was super fun. I've been listening to a shit ton of Critical Role. I've been watching Critical Role. I've been playing D&D. My home game played last week. The podcast played 2 weeks ago. We finally released the first episode of Dungeons and Day Drinkers. So that's going really well. My mother-in-law, who's a teacher, she has this 3D printer that she uses for her school, but she brings home on the weekends every once in a while. And for whatever reason, she asked my wife to go get it from the school. So it's here, and now we've been just absolutely using all of her filament to
where's
print
my character, man?
To print all of these monster minis that we use in our home game now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in fact, I was trying to print some intellect devourers, which they're these little brain creatures with legs. They're like a super low level monster that can fuck your character up low levels. It's kind of stupid. But they started screwing up. I needed to add some supports, but we can get super nerdy with that later. I wish Brandon was on. Brandon's a 3D printer nerd too. So
Brandon is a 3D printer and a D&D nerd just as much as you.
Yeah, so Brandon, it's actually probably a good thing he's not on, because we would have just totally 45 minutes in and I'm like, oh shit, we're supposed to be doing a show. So yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of just playing D&D, watching D&D, drawing D&D. It's been a blast. I love it.
Nice. I feel like the past week has been kind of like an Attack of the Clones, and I love it.
Nice.
But it's all getting released so if you're listening to this, it's Friday, and both games are already out. But if you're live, then one of them released today, and the other one's releasing on Friday. But there's a Pokemon clone that came out for PC called Temtem. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. I know Tank has, because I sent it.
I'm about to say, I hadn't until you sent it to me.
Yeah, and I had no idea about it until it just popped up in my YouTube as oh, you might be interested in this. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would I be interested in a clone of a game that just came out? So apparently, a lot of people who have been following Pokemon for a long time, when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out for the Nintendo Switch, were extremely let down because they felt like it was a lazy interpretation of what the next gen should be. And Tank even said it when I mentioned their monetary thing.
Ugh.
He was like, yeah, I hate the fact that there is no new Pokemon game, because it has been every year. This year there won't be one. They're just doing a DLC basically.
Yeah, that pisses me off. But if you let me get started on that, we'll run out of show.
No. So what this game actually is an MMO monster collector that's on the PC. It'll be moving to Switch, PS4, and Xbox, I think, in early 2021. But it's in full MMO. Everything's online, and I don't know how much you guys know about esports, but it's got picks and bans for competitive play. So not only is it oh, okay, this is cool, like a Pokemon emulator, but now they've gone as far as to okay, we're going to make this very competitive esports, arena type thing.
What does picks and bans mean for that?
Okay, so for picks and bans, what would happen is if Tank and I were playing and I have first pick, I would pick 2. I would pick 1, Tank would pick 2, and then I could ban 1, so he could not pick it at all. So from his roster, I could ban him from picking something.
For that one fight.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you control kind of if you have a weakness against something, I could ban it, or you could ban it on me, so that way I couldn't run it against you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it helps competitive levels of gaming be a little bit more diverse.
It's another level of strategy, right? Because before it's okay, I build my team, and that's my team, right? But now it's okay, I have this long list. I build 2 teams in one, and based on what you pick, okay, well, since you picked this, I'm going to ban this so that I can pick this next time. And there's this whole, you get this huge strategy loophole that kind of adds to the whole competitive nature. That a lot of League of Legends and Dota, those kinds of esports games have a very similar element to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's deep. And if you jump down that esports rabbit hole, you'll watch tons of documentaries that you have. Like, I've never played a single game of League of Legends,
Oh, it's
but
so
I've
much
watched
fun.
a lot of the documentaries.
Nice.
They're
They did a
interesting, man.
shit ton for esports. Like
Yeah.
Esports is what it is today because of League of Legends. Like, there was
Oh, yeah.
esports before League of Legends. Like, CS:GO's had competitive scene for years. Super Smash Brothers had a competitive league for years. But League of Legends is selling out football stadiums for their world championships. Yeah. So
Yep.
it's
And didn't they
crazy.
offer what in 2015? They offered like the first $1 million
like jackpot, like
jackpot.
prize or whatever.
Like the winning team won $1 million.
Yep.
For playing a video game.
Yep. But like these
Yeah.
these guys, like these players, like literally the teams will buy a house, move all their players into this house together. They will practice 8 hours a day. They'll go to the gym 2 hours a day, and like that is their life, like 6-7 days a week, and so that they can go to these competitions and win money.
Like, we could get into it, but I think esports is a sport. It's not a physical sport.
No.
But the definition of sport is a team that practices one thing to develop like an ultimate end goal to defeat another team.
Right.
So esports is a sport. It's just not physically a sport. But
I guess that would bring you into like arguing as to whether or not things like professional poker is considered a sport.
Right.
Technically, I mean,
you could argue that it is a sport.
Yeah, it's on ESPN.
Right.
Laziest argument, but it wins. Then the other clone is actually deals with League of Legends. League of Legends is coming out with their first card game on Friday, which looks a lot like Hearthstone, except there's 0 purchases. Like, you do not buy card packs. You cannot buy anything except cosmetics, which is a lot like League of Legends. So there's no pay to win.
Legends of Runeterra?
Yep. Legends of Runeterra comes out Friday. Temtem comes out on Tuesday. And I think it's weird that they're clones, but in a lot of ways they feel better than the games that they're emulating.
Which, I mean, if you think about it, if you're gonna make a game that's so similar to another game and you don't make it at a minimum different, if not better, like, kind of what's the point, you know?
Well, I mean, how many games have lost to Pokemon over the years?
Like Digimon and...
That's an arguable thing, because I like Digimon way better.
You do, but culturally, and especially in America, Pokemon absolutely destroyed Digimon.
I don't think Temtem will take over Pokemon's spot, because I don't think anything can.
But it's too much brand recognition too. Like, if you're a parent who doesn't know anything, but you're taking your kids to like show them stuff, you're like, oh, I've heard of Pokemon. Let's go look at this thing. And...
Yeah. Well, I tried to watch a stream because I was gonna buy Temtem. You have to buy it.
Yep.
It's $35, but it's an MMO, and you get everything as far as the game is produced for $35. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. Well, you know what? Let me check out the stream and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Every stream I tried to watch, to include IGN and GameSpot, they were in a queue because they have reached capacity.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
For their game. So they're like, "Oh, you're number 10,000 in the queue."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm not buying that shit until they hammer all this out."
Wait for it to cool off.
Yeah, once it cools down and, like, you know, not everybody's trying to log in at one time, then I'll probably figure it out. But I'm definitely gonna play Runeterra. I did the pre-order. It's free, so I get to play on Thursday. So I'll let you guys know how that is next week. But
nice.
I was a huge for probably 3 years. I was huge into League of Legends. So
really,
yeah, oh yeah, I played like religiously.
Now, I've played Dota, I've played Arena of Valor, I've played Vainglory. I just couldn't get into League of Legends because I was like, that's a whole new list of characters I have to learn.
That, and it was PC. All those things you list. Well, Dota was PC too, but
Dota I played on PC.
But like Arena of Valor is mobile and stuff. I know.
Yeah.
You've never been big into, like, you know, an actual like PC gaming, so.
But Legends of Runeterra is starting on the PC, and then in the next couple months, it's not even like a year or so out. It's like in the next couple months, it will be on mobile, and it's designed to be fluid between the two. So it looks like it's going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be better than Hearthstone. I don't think it's going to beat out Magic. Because I talked to Brandon about it, and Brandon's like, nothing can touch Magic because Magic's got the notoriety of Pokemon.
The brand recognition.
Yeah.
Because Magic the Gathering started card games, like the way that we see them today.
Yeah.
So nothing's gonna beat Magic, and especially Magic Arena. But I think that Runeterra will definitely beat out Hearthstone for me, because if I'm spending money, it's gonna be on Magic. It's not gonna be on Hearthstone. And then if it's a cartoonish game, then I might as well play on something that I can be competitive in. And
do you think that these clones will be more enjoyable on the competitive side because it's more likely to be like fans that would go after it, and whereas the casual players are just going to go after the name recognition stuff? Do you think it'll kind of whittle down the types of people that you play with?
I think that the Temtem game will whittle down after a while, and it'll be like the hardcore players that are looking for either an extremely competitive scene or something that they can play on PC, not Nintendo, or the MMO, which I don't really see why that's a thing. Like, I was listening to someone earlier, and he was like, the MMO part kind of takes away from that. Adam, I don't know if you ever played Pokemon, but
Nah, that was never really mine.
You're the one. Like, you're the one, the only one that can save the world. But then he's like, you know, they give you this speech, and then you see like 8 other people getting the same speech at the same time. Kind of takes away from it.
Yeah,
like, I don't feel so special anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, to me, Temtem seems like it would be like a competitive monster game. So if it's like, if the esports take off, I could see it becoming more competitive than Pokemon, like competitive, because that's not really a thing.
Not really.
Because Nintendo limits it. But Runeterra, I could totally see that taking a spot like Hearthstone in like 2 years, where it's got a competitive scene. It's not, I don't know, because Riot Games puts it out, which is League of Legends. So I think they're going to have a ton of people who have never played card games before, but play League of Legends religiously.
Gotcha.
That, I mean, and Riot also put out that, what's that? It's like the
Team Fight.
Yeah.
I like that game.
But it was like a fraction of the popularity that League of Legends proper was.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is going to be similar. Like just because you're a League of Legends fans, like I think only like half of that translates to just different. Because the whole, League of Legends is this like fast-paced, real-time strategy game where it's like there's a ton of like reflexes and skills and stuff that you have to just like really train. Whereas like a card game is more of like, it's more of a sit-down brain, strategy.
You're gonna have that Rolodex for like, what do I have and what trumps what, and
exactly. So it's a very different mindset than like League of Legends proper. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see what it does though.
I think it's gonna attract people who like League of Legends, so they'll download it for sure.
Yeah.
Will they continue playing? I hope that it converts a lot of Hearthstone people, because honestly, I don't really like Hearthstone that much.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like a childish version of Magic.
So is Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, Yu-Gi-Oh is just bad. I'm sorry, it just like
when you're comparing to like the level of play of Magic, I would agree, but I'm way more of a Yu-Gi-Oh fan than a Magic fan. So,
dude, like,
no, I guess that's more from the anime side, to be fair. So
the one Yu-Gi-Oh game that I played on mobile, it only took me like 2 weeks to break it.
Yeah,
like where I had a deck that's like, man, and like didn't have to upgrade it, didn't have to do anything, because I was just like, I have like a 98% win rate with it, so I was like,
yeah,
whatever, done with this game. Magic is like the most difficult thing on earth for me, for whatever reason. Every other card game is like, I don't really like Hearthstone, but every other card game, I'm like, this is pretty good. But Brandon will just like jump in, and like kick my ass at Magic. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's funny.
So let's jump into the topic because I've wanted to talk about this since last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I think that Adam, you might be the right guy to talk to about this. You seem like a guy who watched 90s Spider-Man as a kid.
Yeah, I watched 90s Spider-Man. It's it's actually one of the things on my like to-do list of having Disney Plus is to like rewatch some of those old cartoons. Like I started on the old X-Men series.
Dude, Gargoyles?
Oh, I didn't even realize that was on there.
Yep.
But
Oh, yeah.
Gargoyles, that was my like second you come home from school, grab the Cheez-Its, Gargoyles was on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Gargoyles, like I saw that tonight because my wife's like, "What are we gonna watch?" I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Ooh, The Rocketeer." I was like, "Ooh, but it's right next to Gargoyles." That's 90s child.
Yup.
Like I want to teach my kid my grow up shows Gargoyles.
Yep.
Right next to Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
what was they called it? It was like the Duck Hour. It was like Darkwing Duck, the Mighty Ducks cartoon with like the superhero Ducks hockey team.
they were awesome.
And
DuckTales?
DuckTales or something like that. It was like it was just all like variations of the same character, just in superhero versus sports team versus dysfunctional family.
Yeah. So, going from the 90s Spider-Man, because this is honestly, like, I've been reading comics forever, and if you ask anybody, like Travis or Brandon or anybody I talk comics with, never was a Spider-Man fan, ever. So, my
Spider-Man fan.
reference...
Morbius, I got
Yeah.
very little
Morbius,
exposure to.
1990s Spider-Man. Because I was like, who is this freak with this fucking nose? Like, who is this guy? And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he wasn't even that cool of a character in the cartoon.
No, because he was like, okay, people kind of like Blade, and Blade's like half human, half vampire. What if we had a vampire that's fully human? Like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? So a lab accident vampire? So like that concept to me, I was always kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sure. You say so.
So he's a vampire, but he's not a vampire? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So what's your reaction to the trailer then?
Okay, so did both of you watch the trailer?
I did.
Yeah, I watched it a couple times.
30 minutes
All
ago.
right. Okay.
Sorry.
Let me start by saying this. If you have not seen the trailer and you do not want any spoilers, just thank you for tuning in. Because this show's about to get real fucked up for you.
Yeah.
Let's also be real honest. If we're spoiling the trailer to a movie, then, I mean, you probably have a whole lot of excitement about the movie to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So I watched it. First off, love the casting of Jared Leto. Like, no, wait, is it Jared Leto?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Love that, right? Like, I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, okay. I could get behind this, right? And then it's like, okay, he plays a really good cripple guy. Like, I'm wondering, like, how is he dancing on his toes right now? Is he doing like a ballet thing? Like, this is cool. He's a good actor, method actor. Got it.
So when did you switch from?
When did I switch from the Jared Leto hype train to what the fuck is going on here?
Suicide Squad.
When I saw Morbius, I was like, damn it, what the fuck's up with his nose?
Yeah, the full makeup, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn it. Like,
his nose holds a little bit too true to the comic book drawings. When you're like, oh, but that's not he's not a cool looking character in the comics either.
He is not cool in the comics. He's not cool in the cartoon.
Yeah.
He's not cool in the movie. Like, fuck.
My initial reaction to the trailer, well, one, I was surprised that. So I think that there's two things that indicate possibly bad things about a movie in the trailer. If the trailer is too long, If you got a 3-minute trailer, you're trying real hard to hook us in.
Yeah.
You're selling.
Or if the
something.
trailer's too short. If you got like an 18-second trailer, you're not showing us anything of this train wreck. So the first trailer, official trailer, is like 2:45, I think, in length or something like that.
Yeah.
And you see the entire arc of his origin story in the trailer.
That's true.
And so I'm like, okay, if it, based on most MCU stuff and Sony, any superhero stuff is clocking in over 2 hours right now. So let's say it's a 2:15 to 2.5 hour movie. Unless that is just the first 10 minutes, we've already seen like a truncated version of the first hour to hour and a half of the movie.
Yep.
And the music, the visuals, and everything about it, when they show him, I was like, this looks like someone's rejected Blade treatment got combined with a Batman movie trailer.
Dude, you nailed it.
And then it's all produced by like Sony, so it all has that Venom texture to it.
So when they're like at the beginning, they're like, from the studio that brought you Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm like, all right, Spider-Man Far From Home. All right, cool. Venom. Oh, dude, you should have just stopped while you were ahead. Like, you could have just left it at that and been done. But that's okay. All right, if you want to go with that, that's fine.
Well, and they left out all the other stuff. Like, we're technically the same studio that brought you the Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Do you remember Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, right.
Did that one.
Topher Grace is our fault. Like, that was us.
Do you remember this? And it just has dancing Spider-Man.
Right.
Like, that was us.
Yeah.
And then it just flashes
from the
Morbius'
studio
face.
that brought you Emo Spider-Man.
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Coffee shop Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's weird 'cause, like, I'm kind of excited about it, but the whole reason I'm excited about it, and they know that Morbius is outside of most hardcore comic book fans' knowledge. It's definitely way outside of any casual fans' knowledge. In the same way, like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
I know.
have never read a comic book. You've still heard of the Avengers. You've heard Iron Man, Thor. You've heard of some of the X-Men characters. You're kind of exposed to stuff. If you've never been in a comic book store, you've never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I hadn't.
So, like, they had to crush it with that movie to keep the universe of what Marvel Disney was doing alive.
Yep.
Morbius is such a strange choice to me.
So,
for what Sony is trying to do.
and it's not even a cool choice. Like, Blade, like, redoing Blade, he's a niche character. Like,
Yeah.
but
I love Blade.
But
movie
had successful movies.
I love the Blade movies.
well,
all three of them,
even-
unabashedly.
even if so my wife has never seen Blade 1 through 3, right?
Oh, dude.
The new one that's coming out, if she were to go watch that, she would go, you know what, that was a cool movie. But it's not because, it's Spider-Man's villain or whatever. Just because Blade is a badass character. Like, it's a standalone.
Yeah.
And not to mention,
okay,
Wesley
You don't
Snipes
have
gave
to
us
know comics.
Wesley Snipes gave us the single best one-liner of all time that has no bearing on the scene that he says it in. But when some motherfucker's trying to ice skate uphill, that's all there is to it. Like, that line, I love that line. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on. Like, it's not cold outside. It's not snowing. He's in this, like, tomb underground, and he's just like, some motherfucker's trying to ice skate uphill. I'm like, what? It has nothing to do with anything that's going on. But I love it.
Does the opposite of the Batman and Robin, where everything is directly related to everything happening. He says something that has nothing to do with anything.
Right. Oh, I love it.
But,
I love it.
So I maybe I don't know enough from the trailer and everything, and from the little bit that I looked into him, and from the '90s cartoon. Would you classify? Because Blade is sort of like an anti-hero. He's like a Punisher. He kind of goes wherever he feels like he is most needed to do whatever he needs to do. Is Morbius a villain, a hero, an anti-hero? Is he like Venom in that sense? Like, what is he?
I think he starts off as in the show. Again, never read anything Morbius comics, so for comics, maybe they should turn to the Blazing Defender report, and he'll answer that.
Nice.
But to me, he started as like this. He had a good cause, and then went straight into like a villain.
Which is pretty indicative of a lot of Spider-Man villains. Doc Ock had a good idea, you know.
The Lizard.
The Lizard had a good idea. Like, it's people that, like, I have a good idea, and it just didn't work out, and now I hate everyone for it.
Okay, so while we're talking about Spider-Man villains, I just want to get to this because I think it's the best part of the whole fucking trailer. How they tied the MCU to Venom and Morbius at the very end, where the Vulture is standing with Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy was in that last shot?
Yeah, it's Tom Hardy.
Oh, I didn't see Tom Hardy.
No, because he says, "Hey Doc, you gave up on blah blah." He's talking to, supposedly the way the trailer presents it. He's talking
looking at Morbius.
Yeah. Not
if
you said Tom Hardy.
Yeah, if you type in Venom in the Morbius trailer, to the very, very end.
I don't see Tom Hardy in there.
This feels like the internet's making something up.
Because it's like that after. It basically is the after credit scene for the trailer. And yeah, and he's talking to the Vulture, but I don't see Tom Hardy in there. But it does bring the MCU together, which obviously like Sony is like fucking all right. We get it. We did all these Spider-Mans by ourselves. They all sucked ass. We did Spider-Man with you. It fucking crushed it. We're gonna do Venom by ourselves because now we're gonna steal it from you and we're gonna be good. Except Venom didn't crush it, and so now they're like, please come back and help us with Morbius.
But they are making another Venom movie, and Tom Hardy is on board, and like they're still pushing.
Like I think it made money, but it definitely wasn't like it wasn't like Spider-Man: Homecoming level.
No, but neither was Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think made less than Spider-Man: Homecoming. So I mean, they don't have a great track record for making Avengers level money.
No,
but they're making a crap ton of money. They're still profitable, and it still would be dumb for them to release that property.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
even
sorry.
There was the whole like hullabaloo about whether or not they were going to kind of cancel all that stuff.
Yeah.
But my feeling, kind of doing more of the deep dive on it, is that they're clearly trying to set up. I feel like they're setting up Morbius, and they're doing the like nod to Vulture and everything. Like they're trying to fast forward or fast track the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to get to that faster, which I think is what the trailer is going to get all the fanboys talking about, which I'm sure if I Googled they are, about who the actual Sinister Six in the sixth movie would be.
Yeah.
Because we've seen some of them, but
they also have a sign that has Spider-Man
as a
murderer.
Yeah, from the Mysterio reveal.
Right. So when we get into like the Sinister Six, right? Morbius was never in the Sinister Six, to my knowledge.
He was in
the cartoon.
No, I looked something about this up earlier because I was curious about it, and I forget when it said that he was. But he did make an appearance as part of the Sinister Six. He was not a core member in the same way that Venom was not a core member, but he helped the Sinister Six do something one time. What was it?
While we're looking that up, I'm actually I didn't realize that Matt Smith was in this, and I'm a Doctor Who fan. Not as much in the last couple of years, but like from Eccleston through Matt Smith, I was a huge Doctor Who fan. So seeing him kind of pop up out of nowhere, I was like, oh, cool, Matt Smith.
So just looking at the characters we already have from the Spider-Man movies, we have
Spider-Man,
Vulture, we have Morbius, which I don't even want to put Venom in the Sinister Six because he's not a villain in my book. He's the anti-hero, so why would he team up with Vulture? But we have Scorpion, the Shocker, and Mysterio. But
Wait, say that again. I was reading a wiki on where he shows up, and I'll tell you how to sing. So we've seen Vulture, we've seen Morbius, we've seen Shocker, Mysterio, and Scorpion.
And it depends on how like nerdy you want to get. Donald Glover and Donald Glover plays the Prowler.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have a real character.
I'd be surprised if he was one of them. I think that
was a fan nod.
Yeah,
that wasn't a.
That's good.
If he was a bigger part of it, I would think that we'd see another 30 seconds of him in Homecoming, or Far From Home somehow, or something.
We have Scorpion. Did I already say that?
Yeah.
So they're saying Craven because Sony's trying to make a Craven solo film.
They were also trying to make a Black Cat. What's the black and white? The two female feline ones. Black Cat and
Wild Card and Black Cat.
Yeah. So I think that project got scrapped.
Silver Sable. That's what it is. Silver Sable and Black Cat.
Okay.
Well, so there was a weird version of the Sinister Six. It's in this wiki. It's called version number 12, where Mojo abducts Spider-Man and X-Men and all kinds of people for one of his battle royales.
Nice.
And in that, Morbius is sort of teamed up with other members of the Sinister Six to battle them in, some various shenanigans or whatever the hell he was doing. And then I think that they would probably not bring back any more of the people that they had tried in the Tobey Maguire or Amazing Spider-Man movies. I don't think we'll see Sandman.
Thank goodness.
I don't know if they'll try again at Doc Ock or not. Which I actually really liked Alfred Molina as Doc Ock.
Wait, we don't have a Doc Ock in this one yet, right?
No, not yet.
But we've tried twice already.
Yeah.
We
had
two different Doc Ocks.
No, we didn't have
in the Amazing.
Doc Ock in the Amazing.
We didn't have one in the Amazing.
We had the Lizard, Electro, and
the Lizard and Electro.
And Scorpion.
And we see Rhino at the beginning of 2, then you see in a post credits almost the Vulture walking past all of the animatronic suits of all of the 6.
Yeah.
But I think we see Octopus arms hanging there along with the Rhino suit.
Yeah.
Scorpion suit and whatever, and then they scrapped it because it was all garbage and made no money.
God, you know who I want to see in a Spider-Man movie? Green Goblin, dude. Not being a comics guy and just growing up with the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and that was kind of my intro into Spider-Man was Tobey Maguire stuff. Green Goblin character is so cool. I love just the character of Green, and it helps that Homeboy played him. What's his face? Green Goblin. Help me from Boondock Saints and from all sorts of shit.
Defoe.
Defoe. Yeah. He's fucking incredible. So I would love to see a Green Goblin.
And he's talking to himself in the mirror.
Dude, him, because that dude is a freaking just genius. He doesn't.
I'm not gonna lie. As much as we hate the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I loved him as Green Goblin, and I like James Franco as.
I don't hate the first 2 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
they were very comic book feeling. They had the
it was
campiness to it that I was this is what it is.
Spider-Man was too campy for me.
They definitely
the
don't.
Villains weren't, but the scenarios were campy, and I don't like him as an actor.
Well, it doesn't. It did them no favors that they hired twice 2 30-year-olds to play a 16-year-old character. It's come on.
So, I just want to get into this really quick. I looked up Doc Ock, right, to see how many Doc Ocks we've had.
Yeah.
First, Alfred Molina from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
The second is James Bartholet. I think I'm saying that right. From Spider-Man Triple X, a porn parody,
Cool.
followed by Tom
Yes.
Kenny in Ultimate Spider-Man.
6
Like,
penises? 8 penises? How
I
does
don't
that?
know. I don't know.
I don't want
Like,
to go down that one.
I'm just like, I looked up Doc Ock, Amazing Spider-Man, and it's like played by Alfred Molina, Spider-Man 2, James Bartlett. I was like, who is this guy? Oh, Spider-Man Triple X, a porn parody.
Rule 34. I just learned of this the other day. Rule 30. I'm pretty sure it's 34. If it exists, there's porn for it. So keep that in mind.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I think it's let's see, rule, because Reddit is Rule 34. Reddit's fucking the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
so
it exists,
that
there's
was-
porn for it.
That
So
was weird.
with
Yep.
Morbius, though, here's here's how this trailer though continues to fail. We're more interested in talking about the movie that comes after.
Yeah.
We're more interested in how does this connect to the bigger world than we are to like, do I want to actually see this movie?
Yeah.
And like, because I like having, I think doing the nod to Sinister Six and making sure that everyone who watches this knows, like, oh hey, here's the Vulture is here and stuff. I think that's further trying to say like, oh, we know no one really knows who this character is, but you like Michael Keaton.
Well,
Why
I
don't you
think
go
they
see
would have done
what we do
better to hold out on this little tidbit here until the end of the movie, the post-credit scene, just like
Right.
Iron Man.
Yep.
Like,
Well, and-
no, that wasn't in no fucking trailer.
Nope.
Yeah,
Like, hold out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Then what if I went to go see Morbius, which I probably won't because I know exactly what's happening after this two full minute trailer, 3-minute trailer, whatever. But if I'm like, hey, I saw it, and then Tank's like, well, what'd you think? And I'm like, it was all right, but you need to go see it because I don't want to ruin the end for you.
Yeah.
And Tank will be like, okay, Jason doesn't say that often. I'll go see it.
Gotcha.
Oh shit, now I need to tell Adam. Oh, okay, cool. This is crazy. Like,
But
just
again,
like Iron Man.
They're having the same effect that Venom had. So the Venom trailer, which I was kind of on, Tom Hardy was always to me like, that's perfect for Venom.
do
He's
love Tom
perfectly
Hardy.
cast for that. And then the trailer, the first trailer that you see Venom in the trailer, you're like, oh God, did you guys not hit render before you export? What's going on here? And when you first see Morbius's face in this trailer, I had the same thought of like, come on, you can't spend more on the trailer to suck us in to the bad graphics when we get to the movie. Like the whole thing with Sonic and his teeth, they should have just redone the trailer and still had teeth in the movie. Like,
it was his eyes. It wasn't his
trailer
teeth.
to
Was
get
it?
everyone.
But yeah.
Well, so to me, like, oh gosh, there are multiple movies that have done this, and I'm trying to think of one where like Morbius, right? This could have been super cool if you like saw him, but then when he became Morbius, you never got a clear shot of him.
There's some mystery there of like,
Yeah, like you leave that mystery, and it's like, oh damn, like, and okay, if I were the director, I would have made Morbius like almost a superhero horror movie.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's a fucking vampire.
yeah,
Like, that's not even that far.
yeah.
Like, leave the mystery, leave the shroud. Like,
Oh,
he lived a fucked up life, and now he's fucking people up for this reason. He has to do it, and it's like, oh wow, now I'm interested. But when you give me this shit, and I'm like, what is wrong with his nostrils?
Yeah.
Like, don't care. And then it's like, ooh, Michael Keaton.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I like in this movie is not as bad about it, but Justice League is the reason I don't watch many trailers anymore, because you can watch the Justice League trailer and skip watching Justice League because it's all in the trailer, all 3 parts of the movie. You have the beginning part, and you have the middle part, and you have the end part with the big boss, and you know exactly who the boss is, and you know exactly what's going to happen, because the entire fucking movie's in that trailer, and that was, you know, they're having to cover their ass because something leaked, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
But this trailer does that, like we're talking a little bit too. It's like, okay, cool, so he's, like, sick, and then becomes a vampire, and he starts killing people. We still don't really know, like, where the story's heading. Like, that's still only half the story, but you almost kind of feel like that's like 3/4 of the movie. Like, there's no like bad guy, right? There's no opposition so far that we know of, so it's like,
They don't seem to present that, but then he's like on a ship or something killing soldiers, and you're like, okay, so what's going on there?
right.
It made me start thinking, though, like, with that, since I wasn't sure, like, okay, is Morbius a hero, villain, anti-hero? And Venom, you could argue, is kind of that same, like, anti-hero at times, but also straight up villain other times. I think it would be cool because of the way they kind of set up Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I don't think that he could beat the Sinister Six. I like, he gets his butt handed to him pretty easily sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you had a Sinister Six that had Morbius and or Venom as part of the Six, and part of that story is Spider-Man talking someone off of the ledge of villainy to help him, like, so that he goes from 1 versus 6 to 2 versus 5 or something like that. I'm like, okay, well, that could be a cool arc.
Yeah.
I just
As you take a deep sigh.
My other problem is, and this is on me more than anybody else. My only real exposure to Jared Leto is Suicide Squad, which I don't. The movie in and of itself, I didn't hate, but I definitely didn't like how he played that character in that movie. I mean, I know he's like an Academy Award winning. I think he has an Oscar or something. Like, I'm sure. Like, I know he's like a big actor. Like, but I just haven't seen any of his stuff. So, like, in this movie, didn't make me like, oh my god, he's gonna crush this role. It's like, okay, he's still playing this like weird villain
do yourself
thing.
a favor. Go to Netflix. Like, the next time that you and your wife have like an in night with no kids, watch this movie called The Outsider.
Okay.
On Netflix. I think that's what it's called. But it's got Jared Leto, and he is a pilot. Is it The Outsider?
I don't know.
There's the Stephen King The Outsider thing going on right now.
No.
That's all that I can think of.
Let's go to Jared Leto's IMDb page.
Oh yeah, it is The Outsider. Nick Lowell is the name of the character, 2018.
Known for Dallas
not
Buyers Club.
Yeah,
Requiem
it's
for
The
a
Outsider.
Dream. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 2018
2018
Netflix movie, The Outsider. So watch that, and you'll see what a great actor he is.
Sure.
He's a
Like,
phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I mean everybody like
he's
fucking likes
so
him.
sick.
So what's weird about it though is, he is a phenomenal actor. The Marvel, anything Marvel is doing, they're bringing in top-notch actors to kill it. Having Mahershala Ali as
Cottonmouth
as Blade.
Oh, as Blade, yeah.
He's gonna and Cottonmouth, but he's gonna be the new Blade.
Yeah.
He's maybe multiple Oscar winner now. Like,
yeah, that dude.
They bring in killer people to do these roles.
Yeah.
But my knowledge on Morbius is so low that I don't know if there's going to be anything there that, like, will we get like Oscar winner Jared Leto, or will we get the Joker Jared Leto?
Right.
No, we could get Oscar winner Jared Leto, but it doesn't matter because it's from the same people that brought us Venom.
Let's say if it's wrapped in the same, because like Tom Hardy is not the reason I didn't like the Venom movie. He's the
reason that saved.
I'm about to say he's the only reason I even kind of like the movie.
You can name like so many movies with Tom Hardy in it and go, well, that movie sucked, but Tom Hardy was awesome.
Crushed it.
Like, he killed his part.
There's a 90-minute movie that is literally just him on screen driving a car. And it's great because he is engaging. But if you put anyone else in that car seat, you'd be like, oh, I hope you're wrecked.
Yeah, and like, what, his role in Inception, not that large.
Mm-mm.
No,
but
he owns it.
He is a memorable character in that movie. Where he's like, "Oh, you're dreaming too little, or you're dreaming too small, or something." Like
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then busts out the rocket launcher or
yeah,
whatever.
he has like a rocket launcher, and you're like, "What?
The
Like
fuck?
this is a crazy character."
Yeah.
And then like he's got roles where he doesn't have to say anything. What's that movie? The MMA movie.
Not hard. Fuck.
Something brother. It's the two brothers going
Yeah,
after
yeah. It's a great movie. He's in.
But
Mad
he doesn't
Max.
speak like
Yeah.
at all.
No.
He just walks around the room like a trap
Warrior.
Warrior. Yep.
That's a good ass
So,
movie
like,
too.
Doesn't do much talking, but
The
he
guy
owns that
with him
role.
is good too. Joel Egerton is another. He's good
Yeah.
too in that movie.
Like there are tons of movies that he does that are, but
The Revenant.
he is awesome at what he does.
The movie was
Yeah.
weird.
Jared Leto is great at what he does, but I
But
don't
what
know.
is he gonna do with this? Because we
Right.
don't like.
Not
if
even him.
the
What is
reason
the
that-
director doing with this?
Yeah.
Which
he
did
can
you
only-
look up the director? Because he's done almost nothing.
Can we also just take a second to remember that Tom Hardy was in Star Trek Nemesis in 2002 as this like 80-pound Jean-Luc Picard clone?
Have you ever watched the like side by side of his audition
No.
with when they actually filmed it? So it's on YouTube and it is phenomenal.
I
It
will
is
go
one-
find
he
it.
is a fantastic actor, but it like goes through the progression of that scene where they first meet,
Oh yeah.
and it shows Tom Hardy auditioning for it. Then it shows the screen test of him across from
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, just like in t-shirts and jeans,
Oh yeah,
on like a mock-up of the set.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it shows the like filming of the final scene, and it like goes through the entirety of the scene, like cutting between those three.
That's so
And you're
cool.
just like, holy crap! This kid who did like almost nothing, was like a nobody in like an episode of Band of Brothers and stuff, is going toe to toe with
Fucking
Patrick Stewart.
Sir
And
Patrick
just-
Stewart.
yeah, and just owning the scene, stealing it from him. But if you
So
look
cool.
at the director of Morbius, he did light. He's from Sweden. He's done like 4 other movies, and then he did 2 movies with Ryan Reynolds. The one where he's a spy, Safe House, which was okay,
no
but it's
thanks.
forgettable.
I didn't see that
And
one.
then he did Life, that
No
space
thanks.
movie.
Oh, yeah, I
It
didn't
was
see
a
that one either.
disaster. It was so boring and ridiculous.
The trailer
Great-
seemed
had a
dumb.
great cast of people
Yeah.
in space that all immediately get murdered. Like Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal as space astronaut scientists, and it was just
Yo,
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor.
He's a good actor.
Do you think that Mysterio is dead?
No,
I don't know.
Jake. I just want to take a second. What's the movie that? Oh gosh.
For,
Oh, he did that one boxing movie,
Southpaw.
Southpaw, which
didn't
was
see
not
that
that great. But the great part about Jake Gyllenhaal was like not even a year later he came out with the movie
Nightcrawler, where he's
Nightcrawler.
the like
oh yeah.
sketchy guy going around filming.
Dude, he
wrecks.
went from a jacked boxer to a creep. And like, I mean, love or hate Southpaw, he owned both roles. Like, I believed that he was this unintelligent boxer from like Southside New York, and then he's this super sketchy dude in Los Angeles. Like, he's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's fantastic, which is why. So he was one of the things that I didn't like about Spider-Man: Far From Home. I thought that he's a great actor, and he was given nothing to do.
I hate when they do that, and that's what I'm hoping they don't do with Morbius, because Jared Leto has so much potential to do great stuff. Like over here, right on this screen, I have got a freeze frame of that ugly ass nose of Morbius. So if
That's
you
why
want to
keep
see it, it's
trying.
at 2
You're,
minutes
like,
and
talking about stuff, and then you're just looking over and going, ah.
yeah, it's reminding me, like,
Fucking
because you
hell.
stop at any other part in this thing and you're like, oh, this could be like a horror movie, or like parts of it I'm like, okay, that also could be just the Venom movie, but
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, wait, what the fuck? Oh, damn it, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Those damn nostrils, it's like Michael Jackson face.
There was something else as I was watching the movie that also gave me the 90s feel of it, and it was when they show him sort of like flying / teleporting, and he's doing that purple
What?
mist.
Like
Around
freaking
it.
X-Men
Like
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler from
Nightcrawler.
X2.
Yeah.
And he's even like going across like the top of a room. I was like, oh, this is the scene from the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally just cut and pasted.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be. I
Wait,
don't.
Sony did X2.
No, it's Fox.
No, it's Fox.
Oh, Fox did.
Fox
X2.
has
Okay,
the
I was about to say,
properties.
did they just keep that role? Like, I knew we were going to use this again. I knew it.
Remember when we had Nightcrawler in the steam tunnels, but it didn't make it in the movie? We'll just cut and paste.
We'll
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
again.
No one will know. No one.
Like,
New generation of kids going to movies.
Yeah. Right.
Their parents aren't going to go see this.
I hate
It's like they didn't go see X2.
I hate this. Like, I hate this so much.
I want to be optimistic, and the only reason I'm not is because it's Sony.
Yeah.
If it was a bad trailer put out by a Disney Marvel MCU, I'd be like, okay, I trust that these guys can probably pull something out,
Yeah.
and because they've done several things very smartly. But
So,
this, I don't know.
so let's do a round robin real quick. Do you think that it carries a bad taste with all of us because it is Sony and not Disney?
Yes.
Yeah, because I've seen them screw up too much stuff, and the only reason that their current Spider-Man is succeeding is because they let Kevin Feige and Marvel Disney have a hand in it.
Yep.
If they had just straight up done another Spider-Man reboot and tried to capture this world, it would have already tanked, and by now Disney would have been able to buy the rights back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They make serviceable things, but they're not making good things.
Right.
then let me ask this, because it was
By the
brought
way,
to
if
my
Sony,
attention.
anyone who works at Sony that ever watches this, I will totally be in your movies. I love everything that you do.
So let me ask you this, because my wife was reading on the internet, because now she's world's largest Star Wars fan.
Okay.
Her words, not mine. Anyway, so she said that a lot of people do not like that Disney bought Star Wars, and I see that. Like, they think that Disney is turning it into a money pit and not what it was supposed to be. And my answer to that was, well, did they see episode 1, 2, and 3? 'Cause that wasn't Disney.
Yeah.
Like, they fucked that up.
They could have left it with George, and
Yeah. I mean, he could have fucked up 7, 8, 9 too, but
and even people forget that he didn't direct 5 and 6, which everyone loves and heralds. And you're like, yeah, and you know why it's good? Because he let other people better than him do his job.
so my question is, do you think that Disney now has this monopoly over Marvel superhero movies where no one else can put anything out worth anything? And do you think that it's not really giving anybody else a shot at Marvel movies? Because I can't name one Marvel movie from Fox or Sony that has hit like a Disney movie.
Deadpool.
They
That's
own
Fox.
Deadpool now.
But that was Fox.
But at the time,
That's
it was
true.
Fox.
That's true.
I mean,
But to be
now-
fair, that was
But
that Fox or was that Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, and
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds? Like,
was
Fox
that Ryan
cut the
Reynolds or
check.
was it Fox?
Fox did cut the
Fox
check, so
cut the
they
check.
do
So,
get
I mean,
they do get some
no,
credit.
Reynolds
Even-
talks about how it
even-
took him a decade to
Yeah.
get that on screen the way he wanted to, so he fought for it.
Yeah,
But
But
even when you
eventually
take
Fox had to
Deadpool,
agree to it.
yeah.
it did not hit like.
Well,
Endgame.
okay. No, and nothing's gonna hit. Like, Endgame is a bad measuring stick. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
it very
25
much
years
is.
of-
But what about
or 25
even
films worth of.
Winter Soldier?
Crushed it. Such a good movie.
That movie crushed. That crushed
Let's
the way you look at superhero movies.
let's lower the bar because we're talking about. Well,
okay, you're naming these really good movies.
Well,
Let's bring it down.
You're naming stuff that's deep into the success pool.
Right.
So
Okay,
let's look at,
Iron
like,
Man 1.
I was saying, like, so Morbius is introducing a brand new character. So look at any origin movie or first movie out, like Doctor Strange. You know, something that's
That-
like
I could see that
bit
comparison.
outside of canon, outside of normal people's knowledge of stuff. You get a great actor into the role. You have oversight from a producer that's connected to everything. So you got your Kevin Feige, but I don't think that. I mean, now it doesn't matter because Disney owns Fox. But let's say that Fox was still its own thing, Sony's its own thing. They have their X-Men property, they have Spider-Man property, and then Disney has Avengers
Everything
property.
else.
Yeah.
I think that both Fox and Sony have the material and are capable of doing a good movie. I think that they're doing a little bit what some of the DC stuff has been with Warner Brothers. Of they feel like they're behind the game and are trying to put something out so fast to play catch up.
Yep.
They're not doing it right, and they're not like respecting the property.
Yep.
Whereas Disney already has the model done right, so they don't have to play catch up.
They
keep
are the
putting
model.
out quality stuff.
So I can hate on Fox stuff to a certain degree, but at the same time, like I love, like, X-Men comics is where I started.
Right.
The
X-Men
first
was
X-Men
great.
movies, the first X-Men movies and the first Spider-Man movies, they don't hold up, but when they came out, they were awesome.
Yeah.
I love them.
I would even
And
argue that X-Men 1 does hold up. Like I
X-Men
would still
1
watch that today.
I still rewatch X-Men 1 and 2. I don't touch 3. I don't touch
Last Stand.
Wolverine Origins. But
Oh,
even with
God.
Wolverine, after they screwed it up and they knew they screwed it up, Fox turned around.
Yeah.
And The Wolverine is a good movie.
Yeah.
Logan is an amazing
movie.
in my
Yeah.
opinion. And those two successes, I think, gave them the confidence to do Deadpool. So I think
Sure.
Fox was starting a better trajectory. I think First Class was also a good movie, but then they started kind of trying to do catch up to, like, well,
Yep.
we have to do origin stories. We already have an Avengers team, so let's do a big Avengers epic. Well, but no one knows these villains.
Any of
No
the
one knows
characters.
why you're
Yep.
doing it. So they rushed out some of the X-Men stuff. Where, like, if you'd made Dark Phoenix a 3-movie saga, you could have killed that storyline. But making it one movie, no, you're screwed.
I never even saw Dark Phoenix.
It's one of the ones I have not seen because they did the same thing with Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Age of Apocalypse and all of that stuff. You could make that you could do a Thanos level event with either of those movies.
Yeah.
And instead,
Oh, yeah.
you just do it all in 1.5 hour.
Not only did you rush the
Action.
entire story into one movie, but also the origin of the Dark Phoenix and the origin of Apocalypse. Like, you didn't even hint at those. You
No.
squeeze all of it, origin and finale, in one movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either of them, and I don't plan on it.
Apocalypse wasn't god awful. It wasn't great. I love Oscar. You like that? I love Oscar Isaacs. I was super pumped when I heard that he
Yeah.
was.
And they introduced some cool people with bringing in Psylocke, the
Yep.
Storm. They
Storm
brought
with
in
a mohawk.
like they hinted at Storm's like origin story in there, and so like they
Mhm.
started to do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But the like larger property didn't do well.
No.
The only reason the Sony property is doing well is because Marvel set it up better for them.
Yeah.
C-Tank, and that's you don't read comics when you guys are saying, oh, Psylocke and Storm, and immediately I went, yeah, and Archangel, because they're the 4 riders.
Yeah.
They're the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
Like, and then I can't remember what the 4th one is, but there were 4 horsemen of Apocalypse. So it's like you have to get their origin story. So it's
Yeah.
like there's a ton that like compacts into this. And for someone like me and Adam and Travis, where it's like, Adam, I don't know if you read the Apocalypse.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Apocalypse series. It's
Yeah.
like you want all of it because
Yeah.
it was so great. You're
So
like,
there's so
I want
much
all of
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your original question was, can they do it, and do we dislike it because it's Sony, and do we think that they can do something better? Yeah, I do dislike it because it's Sony, but I do think that they could do something better. They're just, I mean, so we started this off. You asked me about like what I like about doing stuff on like the backside of things. I've been a part of projects where you see the executives get involved and fight with the directors, or you see we're like, oh, this is a great script, and then you get the rewrite and you go, oh, this is a piece of trash. What happened here? And like, I think majority of movies are started by people with a vision that know what they want. They are a fan of whatever story they're trying to tell. So if you're a director or a writer who's like, yeah, I want to write Morbius. I know Morbius. Morbius can be great. And you do your thing, and then it goes to someone who has to cut a check, and then they tell 15 other people to get involved before they sign that check.
Yeah.
And then it can all just fall apart. But I think Feige, I think sometimes Kathleen Kennedy are good about saying, you understand this world and I'm just going to let you do your thing.
Yep. And
then other times they go, you know what? I just feel like tinkering.
Yeah.
And then it gets all awry and weird.
Star Wars 8.
So,
that's another black hole.
Because I still have this frozen on that damn nostril.
He's not even listening. He's just staring into the
I'm
eyes.
staring at his
Morbius'
eyes.
powers is to hypnotize weak people.
Yeah.
So
I told you at the beginning of the show, I was right on that level of cultish. Right? After this, be sure to tune into my next show, the Morbius cast.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels like, you know, and hearing you say it's started by somebody who has a vision, I think that they had a vision like, hey, Morbius, we can make this a cool character and ultimately evolve this into like Morbius, Venom, a Sinister Six for ourselves.
Yeah.
But then once somebody got their hands on it, they're like, Morbius, that's that 90s cartoon, Nostrils. Because I think they're going to cheese it up and it's going to be fucking terrible. And the graphics are not going to be the best that they can do. And I think Jared Leto is going to get a bad rap after this movie comes out.
I think Jared Leto is kind of bulletproof. Because every time that he puts out a piece of trash, he also puts out something that gets him a lot of good attention.
That's so true, actually.
Even when people are like, you know what, I don't care about him as an actor, he'll put out a 30 Seconds to Mars album and go on tour. I mean, he's fine.
He's made so much money, I don't think he cares. But, like, you're right. Because it's like, oh, I hate Suicide Squad. But immediately, people are like, no. Don't watch that. That is trash. Watch this.
Yeah. Even you did that. I don't know about it. Go look at Netflix and look at and like, if you go back and like Leto, 2 or 3 movies when he was younger, like set him up to like, okay, he's gonna be a guy. He's gonna like people are gonna go to him, and I saw 30 Seconds to Mars in concert.
Nice. And
I've seen a bunch of concerts, a bunch of frontmen, a bunch of like people do stuff, but holy crap, I've never seen an audience eat out of someone's hand. Like he is a masterclass of that idea of like someone having that, you know, something X that's special about them.
Yeah.
He's just charismatic and he can control an audience in a way that like most like rock stars don't anymore. So I think he can make 10 bombs and people are still going to want to see him do stuff.
I just imagine Adam at a 30 Seconds to Mars concert where he's like, you know, he's just got this thing. And in reality, he didn't have a thing. Adam
I'm
was
just
like,
in love
I
with
love
him.
you.
Oh yeah.
I love you so much.
I'm on my 3rd beer. I'm grabbing people next to me. Just look at that guy. Look at his hair, man.
That's so great.
Back from the mountain.
Everyone's like, man, this band sucks. He's like, shut your mouth. He can never do wrong. I love you. I love you, Jared.
I didn't tell you that new tattoo I got that's not itchy. It's just his face.
It's
just Jared doing the Last Supper with a bunch of versions of Jared next to him.
That's hilarious. I want to see that as a tattoo so bad now. That'd be.
I have a picture that my wife got for me at a Comic-Con that she went to that I wasn't at, and it's a Bill Murray like that.
Nice.
It's Bill Murray like at the Last Supper,
right.
And like Garfield's under the table eating something, and it's his character from like each of his movies.
Yeah,
that's different spots.
So good.
It's awesome. I love it.
Bill Murray from Zombieland was there.
Bill
Yeah, he's like
Murray.
in the background, just like standing. Got Caddyshack on one end and like Stripes on the other end.
So good.
All right, Tank. What are your final thoughts on Morbius?
I don't know, man. Like, it's a Sony movie. I'm not gonna rush to go see it. If I see it in theaters, it might be an accident, but I'm definitely not gonna be like, I'm not chomping at the bit. This trailer did not. There's certain movies, and I've talked about them on the show, but I can't think of them off the top of my head right this second. Some movies I was like, I don't really care about the movie. Then I see the trailer and I'm like, holy fuck, I have to go see that movie. This is not one of those. This is one of those movies that's like, I don't know anything about this movie. The trailer's not pushing me over the edge for a movie that I don't know anything about. So I was like, okay, whatever.
I think that's where all of America sits right now.
Yeah.
So.
I'll
All right.
probably see it. Just to see.
There you go.
Just to see.
You see anything, Adam?
I mean,
I love
to a
Jared.
degree.
I love you.
I will. I do.
I love you, man.
And I just want his tears in a vial and hang it around my clock.
You want another vial of his tears
Yeah.
to match the one you already have.
Basically.
Yeah. All right, guys. Tank, tell them where to find you.
Yep, you guys can find me all over the internet at The Caped Critic. Check out our other show, Dungeons and Day Drinkers. It's going to go up. It goes up every other Wednesday around noon. And we're having a lot of fun over on that show, too. So make sure you check us out.
We do a lot of drinking.
A lot. And it's
And
usually
a lot of
right
dying.
With some occasional dungeons involved.
A little bit. And it's usually like noon, which for Brandon and Alex is like 9 a.m. So, yeah, it's great. It's great.
All right, Adam, tell them where they can find you. And what shows they can find you on. So they can support you any way possible.
I am on Instagram, Facebook at Adam J. Stevenson. I don't do Twitter because I just don't care enough. It's hard enough to keep up with like one social media account. And I recently did an episode of The Resident on Fox, which I think has aired. I think that aired at the end of last year, and you can log into Netflix. I pop up a couple times in 13 Reasons Why, and go check out, if you like B movies, go check out Geostorm, because that paid for my college loans. I want that to keep happening.
That is one of my favorite posts you've done.
My post about like it paying off my
you're like, hey,
loans.
my student loans have been paid. Thanks, Geostorm.
Props to Jerry Bruckheimer.
That's awesome.
You guys can find me at Houdini0333 on Instagram and the old tweet machine. You can find all of us at TheNerdsFromWork.com. That's got links to all of our social media. You can be sure to leave us a review on iTunes and on SoundCloud at TheNerdsFromWork, all one word. You can find us all over social media, so be sure to check that out. And hey, go check out 13 Reasons Why. It's actually not that bad. So from all of us here at the workplace,
Peace.
Geostorm is that bad.
It is.